Welcome, friend, to Life and Liberty Radio. I'm David Householder, here to encourage your pursuit of happiness. You and I are partners, exploring our shared spiritual journeys. Together, we're dreaming and working for a free society. Tell others today about our adventure in faith and freedom. So breathe in, open your mind, lift up your spirit. Let's get started. I'm here with Gary Chapman. This is Dave Householder, and we're talking here about apologizing. And Gary Chapman has a new book out on apologizing and how to apologize. What's the name of the book?
It's called The 5 Languages of Apology.
Okay, and I as a pastor struggle with that because I often see in my own marriage counseling work that people really don't apologize in such a way the other person can hear. And I think people need to sense that the person really is apologizing. They need to hear it in a way that makes sense to them.
Yeah, what we discovered is that there's 5 fundamental ways that people apologize. And if you don't apologize in a way that they understand, they feel you're not sincere. What we did, we asked thousands of people 2 questions. When you apologize to someone, what do you typically say or do? Second question, when someone apologizes to you, what do you want to hear them say and do? And their answers fell into 5 categories. And we later called them the 5 languages of apology. One of them is expressing regret. I'm sorry that I came home late and we missed the program. I'm sorry that I lost my temper. It's trying to communicate to them that I'm feeling badly, that my behavior has hurt us. So that's one. That's probably the most common one. Second one is accepting responsibility. I was wrong. And there's some people, if you don't admit that you were wrong, you're not sincere. They're waiting to hear you say, I was wrong. And then there's making restitution. What can I do to make things right with you? I know I've hurt you, but how can I make it up to you? It's what Zacchaeus did when he said, the people I've stolen from, I'm going to pay them back 4 times what I took. And for some people, this is what an apology is. It means that you are willing to do something to make it right. And if you don't offer to make restitution, in their mind, you're not sincerely apologizing. And then the fourth one is, okay, let me think, what is the fourth one?
It's been a long day of teaching, I'm sure it has.
It's been a long day, yes. Is genuinely repenting, expressing the desire to change. I know I did the same thing last week, and I don't like this about me. I want to change it. Can you help me? Can we think about how I could not do this again? And again, for some people, this is what they're waiting for. They want to hear you express the desire to change your behavior. And then the last one is actually requesting forgiveness. Will you forgive me? Or I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. I really value our relationship, and I want your forgiveness. And for some people, if you don't ask for forgiveness, you haven't apologized. So what we're saying is that people have different apology languages. They probably learned them as a child, taught them by their parents. And if you don't apologize in their language, they question your sincerity. You're sincere, but they don't sense that you're sincere. So learning each other's apology language makes it a lot easier for you to forgive somebody. So that's the heart of what we're trying to say.
It's really true. I've been married for 31 years, and we're just now getting to the point where we're starting to understand this. We've got a really good marriage, but this is something we've struggled with because we both mean well when we apologize, but we tend not to apologize in a way that the other person is able to receive, and we are bewildered by that.
Yeah, and I think that's often the case. The wife will say, I would forgive him if he would apologize. And he would say, I did apologize. I told you I was sorry. And she said, that's not an apology. He thinks he's apologized. He's doing what his mother taught him to do. But the reality is, in her mind, that's not a sincere apology. So I think learning this really makes a difference in relationships because it helps process the pain and the hurt. All of us fail from time to time. We hurt the people we love the most. But if we apologize in a sincere way so that they can forgive us, then we can go on. The barrier doesn't sit between us. So apologizing and forgiving, I think, are essentials for a long-term healthy marriage or any other relationship.
This is your host, David Householder. Say if you're ever in Southern California, we invite you to come and join us personally at Robinwood Church in Huntington Beach. You can find us at robinwoodchurch.com. We're a unique spiritual community with worldwide influence. Come join us.
I would think that in my couples group, we could work through this. Is this a book we could maybe have some questions with it and some ways you can study through it together as a group? Would it be suitable for that?
Yes, at the end of every chapter, there are questions that can be asked, and there's a discussion guide in the back that can be used in a small group. I think small groups would really profit from working through this book.
I think so, too, because we're often more honest in a group setting like that where we can see other people with the challenges. Rather than just the two of you, it's kind of intimidating sometimes to work through it.
You're right, because what happens is you realize another couple says, oh, well, that's what we've been doing, and yeah, okay, well, that's what we've been doing. Yeah, and you realize that other people have the same kind of struggles that you have. To me, that's the value of a small group.
Now, did you come to this intuitively, or is this something you had to work on, too, in your own marriage?
Well, yeah, in my marriage, we had to work on everything. I mean, my wife and I had terrible problems in the early years of our marriage, in spite of the fact we were both Christians. And we were a long time getting it together. And that's probably why I have such empathy for people who are hurting in their marriage, because I know what it's like to be married and be miserable and married and think, well, I married the wrong person. This is never going to work out. I had those thoughts and feelings. And I guess, God tends to use our pain and our hurt to help other people. And that's what he's done, I think, with my life.
That's the transparency you show is what makes the book so accessible, because you were able to, you're even getting a little emotional talking about it right now, so it's fun to see that. And this is a message which you've learned and you're passing on to other people. Once again, how would people get a hold of the book?
They can get it in most Christian bookstores or even secular bookstores, Amazon.com, of course, any of the places online that you can buy. We're getting ready in May. We're going to change the name of it. Instead of the 5 languages of apology, it's going to be When Sorry is Not Enough. So we're giving it a little different title, but it's the same book.
Well, Gary Chapman, thanks so much for this, and we look forward to working through the book in our couples group.
Good. Thank you. Good to be with you.
Blessings.
Well, that's all for today on Life and Liberty Radio. Thanks so much for sharing this part of your spiritual journey with me. Now, the views on this program are not necessarily those of my advertisers, sponsors, places I work or do business with. They're purely my own, but I'm sharing them with you, so share your ideas with me. Write me on Twitter at Liberty House, LIBERTYHOUS, no E. Until next time, let's continue dreaming and working for a free and spiritually grounded society.